Welcome, dear friends. We'll start shortly. We were asked to start on time, so it's 12 past, 10 past 12. Welcome. Good to meet you all. Good to meet you all. Sunday, 22nd of November, through the Body, Mind, Spirit experience. So we're doing it online. Today, the purpose of my talk and work is going to be about sacred sound, sound healing, and DNA change. So our session will be divided in two parts. The first few minutes, I'll be talking to you about the technology behind sound healing, and the last part of the talk, we'll do a little bit of an exercise together. We'll do a little of training. So just to introduce myself to those who have not met me before, my name is Man. I'm a spiritual guide and a sacred sound healer. And sound has been in my blood since I'm a child. Apparently, when I was born, for 14 days, I was doing harmonics. So sound has been for me the pattern of my life. It has been for me the way to heal my life, to guide myself, and to go ahead. Good evening. Thank you for joining, Jean-Michel. So today, what I would like to discuss with you is different things. Yeah. So in terms of credentials, I wrote this book, Awakening the Healer Within, that won the Body, Mind, Spirit Book Awards in the States, in which I explain how I healed naturally from a brain tumor, and sacred sound and sound was part of my journey. As I say in my book, sound is the staircase for the soul to enter the body. Through sacred sound does the soul take its full place to manifest as the true self. Every person is a unique sound. Together, we are the one sacred sound, the universe. So, one verse, one sound. Yeah. So, having said that, I will talk to you about two things today. First, the vibrational nature of sound and the type of healing we get from sound as a vibration. And the second part of my talk today will be about the sacred nature of sound. So, there are two things. Yeah. So, first, from a vibrational point of view, you all are aware that most of our body is made of water. And sound is a vibration, and any type of vibration will go through every kind of liquid area. If you have a sound in the sea between whales that are thousands of kilometers apart, they will hear it because sound travels through all of the waters. And our body is made between 70 and 80% of water. So that's the first thing. And the sound has always been the first modality of healing. Most of you know about when a child is crying and his mother will hold him in her arms and chant a lullaby for the child, and how the child naturally will start to feel better. Yeah. So it's intrinsic to us to know exactly how that works. Now, a little bit of history. The first sound healer, sacred sound healer we know of is actually Pythagoras. Pythagoras from Samoa is mostly known for his theorema, for the, triangle that, the central part square is equal to the sum of other parts square. But Pythagoras actually was the father of sound healing. He would have been the first person who noticed that, you know, instruments played in a certain way made some nice music, and instruments played in the wrong way made different music. And he went on developing music. He was the first one who developed music to heal people from depression, violence, aggression, and alcoholism. Depression, violence, alcoholism, and aggression. Pythagoras of Samoa, 2,400 years ago, was the father of sound healing. More recently, you have Sir Peter Guy Manners from the UK, who's a doctor, he was a general practitioner. He discovered the power of sound, and he wrote a lot of research about cymatics. And he got knighted, he's now Sir Peter Guy Manners. So he discovered how sound creates matter, how different vibrations organize the molecular structure of every cell differently. So if you put some sand or salt and you inject it with a certain vibration, you get different shapes of forms. So vibration is going everywhere around us. So it has to affect our molecular structure. More recently than Sir Peter Guy Manners, you have Alfred Tomatis, Dr. Alfred Tomatis, who's a French doctor. He was called into a monastery in the south of France, I think in the 1960s, where all the monks suddenly got sick. He checked their food. He could not find out why they all got sick. Now, what has happened in that monastery is that they had changed the abbot, and the new abbot had refused them singing chants in the morning and the evening. So, since the monks stopped chanting, they all got sick. It's called the Tomatis effect. So, when all the monks stopped chanting, they all got sick. So, he suggested to the abbot to please reinstate the chanting, and within a few weeks, all the monks healed again. Amazing. So the chanting was keeping them together. And it was a special type of chanting. It's not any type of chanting, it's something very, very specific. Yeah. So even more recently, you have Fabien Maman, who's a musician who left his career as a violinist to focus more on sound healing. And he has an institute in the United States. He started in Europe and he demonstrated how if you sing certain songs to cancer cells, you actually explode them. And he presented this work to doctors in Paris in the 1980s. It was too advanced. They did not understand what they're going to do with it, and the guy had to just go to America and set up a center there. So we lost him to the States, yeah. And the more recent than that is Dr. Mitchell Gaynor, who was an oncologist for more than 40 years in the States. And Dr. Gaynor started using sound technique and sound healing with cancer patients, and he noticed that their lifespan was increasing. He was inspired by that because one of his customers was a Buddhist monk who had cancer, and he noticed that this Buddhist monk was doing much better than the others. So he asked him what he was doing, and the monk said to him that he was actually doing all these meditation with sounds. So he started offering it to his customers as an extra, and he noticed the difference. And on average, the expectancy of people was multiplied by at least 2, in some cases more. So we talked about Pythagoras, the father of all. We talked about Sir Peter Guy Manners. We talked about Fabien Maman. We talked about Dr. Alfred Tomatis, Dr. Mitchell Gaynor. So basically, these are all there. They have been all there, and they have been all available. You can all check this information is correct. And we, as a human being, our bodies change during our lifetime. We experience on average 5,000 genetic changes during our lifetime. That's the average change. Our genes adapt to the environment. So when you are proving that vibration changes the molecular structure, when you are proving that you can get people who go from illness to healing, when you can prove that this is actually affecting people who have very serious conditions such as cancers or others, you understand that sound is affecting all the body. Now, we will go now to the next point. Yeah. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, but this is where we are at the moment. Now, our structure as human beings, our DNA, 2 strands dancing around each other. This is our codification. This is how Creator has codified us, and it's unique. And the DNA structure is like an electromagnetic structure through which the life force goes in and we manifest as a being. You have to consider the DNA is like an accordion. All the buttons are pressed in a certain way, but unless there's a breath through it, there is no sound. Yeah? But the accordion, different keys are in a certain way. So if you play the accordion in a certain way over time, too much, the keys, they get out of order. So this is how the sound work affects the structure. That is why there are key sounds that if you use those key sounds in the right way, you put things back in order. Dissonant sound, dissonant vibration puts your structure out of order. The right sound, the sacred sound, readjusts all your energy centers that we call chakras, and consequently also adjusts your DNA structure. Because again, your DNA structure is just the keyboard through which the life force goes in. It's the programming keyboard, yeah. We can talk more about it, but today I just want to touch a few bullet points and introduce you to what it is about. Then we can go even deeper into DNA replication and how DNA replication is linked to sound and vibration, and we can go much deeper into that kind of talk. But today, with the time we have, I would like just to focus on that. Yeah. To understand the concept of sacredness of sound. Sound is sacred because it is a tool that allows us to reconnect with our creation. That is, allows us to reconnect with our great spirit, with our great Father, with our God, with our Lord, with Creator, with the divine energy of love and wisdom that created us. As a consequence, our ancestors knew that. Most musical instruments were kept into temples, And most of these sacred musical instruments, they were only taken out when there was a spiritual process or when there was a war. It was for not for fun. They knew that these vibrations that they were using, they will actually go everywhere and connect with the whole cosmos. Yeah. If we take an example of a Tibetan bowl played properly, its vibration will cross more than a meter of cement. And if you play it outside, it will cross 100 kilometers of ionosphere and go into the cosmos without any problem. So, sound, sacred sound was used in temples only, and it was used for spiritual purpose or war. And we are told in all the spiritualities that at the beginning was the word, was the sound of creation. Yeah. So the sound is what unites us. Yeah. That is why many of my talks we always start with the sound of Om. When you perform the sound and you test what vibration it makes on water, and you can freeze the water, for example, so you can have a bucket with water and you perform the sound, then you freeze the water, you'll see perfect circular shapes coming with the sound of Om. Perfect circular shapes. And there are other sounds that make other perfect shapes. Yeah. The modern music today, the rock and roll music and stuff, is very nice and very entertaining, but it is dissonant energy. It is not the sound that repairs your body. You can enjoy it. I enjoy going to a rock concert and stuff like that. But I will not say that this is actually repairing my DNA structure. And if you listen too much to this kind of, breaking music, like electronic music and stuff like that, you will destroy your structure. Actually, Fabien Maman, who is the musician that did most of this modern research on sound and cells and how cancer cells exploded with human sounds, he discovered that no electronic music has effect on sound the same as our voice and certain old instruments, such as the harp, such as the Tibetan bowls, such as the Sarasvati Veena from India, such as mainly our voice, yeah? Because we produce what we call harmonics, and harmonics are the healers. But I'm not going to go too deep in this today, just giving you the bullet points, yeah? So all of these harmonic sounds, they do perfect shapes, and all the non-harmonic sounds, which are mostly utilized today in electronic music, they destroy the shapes. So if you're exposed too long to it, it will actually destroy, the balance and harmony of your molecular structure. And over time, when you are exposed to too much the wrong vibration for too long, you'll get sick. And over time, it will affect your DNA structure because, as I explained to you, on average, we have 5,000 mutations in our lifetime of our DNA structure. 5,000. Yeah. So it's like the DNA structure is basically the strand from the beginning of life that hold us. It's like this strand here. This is the DNA, my grandfather, my father, myself, my children, and so on. We transmit this code. Yeah, the code is transmitted over time. Yeah. That is why it is so important to sing and to chant harmonically, because this is where you grow up your energy. And anything dissonant will bring you down. And this is why also, some people have developed some nasty stuff like, sound weapons against the people and things like that. We're not going to go into that, but this is out there too. Yeah. So the most important thing to know about sound, this sound is going to come from your body. Your body is the musical instrument. The same as if my instrument is rusty or unclean, the sound will be awful. The same your body. If your body does not have a level of purity and cleanliness in it, your sound is not going to get the results that you're looking for. So again, we go on to working on getting our body in the highest state of purity possible. And when we talk about purity, we talk about three different types of purities. First, the physical purity. So don't put any toxins in your body, cigarettes, coffees, alcohol, away. Drugs, away. Then the poison of your heart, is your heart full of bitterness, full of anger, full of hate? Clean that away. And then the intention of connection. So the desire to reconnect with the light that created us. That is also has to be purified. So when you go to sound with this type of approach, you will be successful. What else I can tell you? So we will do a few exercises today, feel free to ask any questions or comments, but we'll do today two exercises together. The first exercise is about safety. In the time of Christianity, the uh, language used was Aramaic, and Aramaic was the father language for Arabic and Hebrew and other languages. So when you take back things in Aramaic, you get lots of information. For example, you get the information that the word Amen is not pronounced Amen, it's pronounced Amin. Amin. Yeah? And that means in Aramaic, I am safe. So it's very interesting. So the word means I am safe, and the pronunciation is this way. The A is when you connect from your third eye upwards, and the E when it goes into the body. So when you're making the sound, you want to go with A, bring the light from above, and bring the light inside. And the color code is very, very important. Yeah, the color code is very, very important. The color code for the energy coming from above is white, and the energy going inside is red. White and red. Yeah, this is the two color codes. So we will go together up and down. Yeah. So here it's really important again to remember that these tools were given to us by creation. They were given to us by creation so that we can always connect and find our way back. Sound is the key. And as I said at the beginning, was the sound. Yeah. So if you'd like to sit yourself properly and take a deep breath. So when we breathe in, we'll go into Om. You don't have to move your hand. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I'm going up in my consciousness, in my intention, and down. Yeah. So when I'm going up, I'm feeling the center of my skull. When I'm going down, I'm feeling my sacrum. Yeah. So you can see already the effect of that. When you use certain sounds, you align your spinal cord. Yeah. The spine, yeah, this is all where you receive the energy from the universe. This is all where your energy of your body is. That's why in India, if you touch a yogi's spine, he'll kill you. Yeah, because the spine is sacred. This is where all the energy of what we are doing, of who we are, it's attached there. If there are any energy attachments, any problems, they actually go into the spine. Yeah, so the power of the sound is also to clear the spine. Good evening, Brian Soleil. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we'll do 3 series of Amin. Remember, we go up high and down. Yeah, and follow me. So deep breath in. We start. Amin. And again. Amin. And again. Amen. You might have an effect like it's affecting your spine, your body. So now you understand that actually your spine acts like an antenna. It acts like an antenna for all kind of vibrations. Yeah. So it has to be cleansed and purified all the time. We are receiving vibration, we are receiving high frequency energy from the universe every second. Every second, our body is hit by tens of thousands of high speed particles coming from the cosmos. And the ionosphere protects us from some of the most toxic ones, the most dangerous ones. But our body is constantly receiving this energy and constantly reacting. Anything coming from the outside will affect us. Using the sound will tune you back into who you are, and the DNA of you, the DNA strand, will be purified. Yeah. That is why there are people out there who try all the time to play with this, but obviously we should not touch it. This is divine and it should not be touched, There is a long story that 7,000 years ago, the Anunnaki were here on Earth and they were in what is today Iraq, were the first civilization of humans. They tried to play with people and tamper with people and play with our pineal gland and our DNA structure, and this did not go on well. And probably now they're starting again to try to do the same thing in the world, but the sound will bring us back to who we are. The sound is pure. The sound is untouched, is unscathed. That is why the old instruments are sacred, because the old instruments will make the sound in the perfect way and will give out the right harmonic. Yeah. And in the old Indian knowledge, they are called the shrutis. There are 22 shrutis, 22 different sounds that actually affect the body structure. And they have it mapped. They have every sound attaching to every specific spinal cord, every vertebrae. Every vertebrae has a specific vibration. They know that. So we want to purify this, keep this all the time at the highest level possible. You know, it's like your, I don't know, when you like to cook and eat in a clean dish, in a clean area, in a clean space, you don't want any dirt there. You want your spirit to be fine. You want your energy to be fine. You want your DNA to be fine. They are all linked. Yeah. And as I say, for those who don't think you can change your DNA, we experience around 4 to 5,000 genetic changes in our lifetime. Yeah. So let's at least be in charge of the changes that we're experiencing and keeping ourselves on the highest possible level of integrity and vibration. The second one we're going to use now to straighten the spine and to the DNA structure is the firing up of the sequence of 7. So this is coming also from the Hindu tradition, and it's modified in a way that work energetically with us. Yeah. So we're going to fire up the sounds that go into the different energy centers, chakras, if you want to call them, because they are actually direct portals into your DNA structure. Yeah. So for this area here, the head will use a sound of so it's a long ah with an M. Yeah. And try to do it deep. Don't do ah, do the om. For the throat area, it's with an H. Hom. For the heart center, it's with a Y. Yom. Above the belly button, you put an R. Ram. Below the belly button, we have the sacral chakra. The one has to do with reproduction, our genetic system. It's called, sorry, genital system. And this one is called Vam with a V, like Venus. Vam. The root is called Lam with an L. Lam. And the totality of this is called Dzam, D-Z-A-M, Dzam. So basically the protection of the self, yeah? So we'll fire them up together. You know, I'll do it with you a couple of times, and then you can repeat the exercise at home. And it is ideal when you're doing this type of exercise that you actually have a candle next to you so you can actually benefit to the maximum. So we'll do this together now. So deep breath in. We'll start. Om, Ham, Yom, Ram, Vam, Lam, Dzam. I'm moving my hands so that you see which centers are affected, but you don't need to do that. Now we'll change the pitch a bit higher. Om, Ham, Yom, Ram, Vam, Lam, Dzam. And again. Om, Ham, Yom, Ram, Vam, Lam, Dzam. Okay, so now that you got used to it, we'll do a session of 4, maybe 4 times, one after the other. We'll fire it up so that you can actually experience what this does to your body. Okay, so wait for a few seconds that you all ready, and we'll fire it up in 4 sequences. Remember, Om, Hum, Yum, above the belly button, Ram, below the belly button, Vam for Venus. Root chakra, Lam, totality, Dzam. 7 sounds. Okay, get yourself comfortable and we'll start again. We'll do 4 of them, and every time I'll go from a lower tone to a higher tone. This is how you fire up the sounds. We go again. Om Ham Yam Ram Vam Lam Zam. 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 Okay, dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this. I found it useful. I hope that you found it useful. You can continue this practice by connecting with us, connecting my YouTube channel. There's a lot of free tutorials. There's also the CD that I made for you to train, which contains other sound techniques. So I taught you something today that's not on the CD. There are other things over there. And the CD was recorded without any alteration to sound. Most of the today recordings, the engineers cut out the low vibrations, the low frequencies, and the low frequencies are the ones that actually affect the organs. So I ask that nothing be taken out of it. So it's very powerful if you use it with loudspeakers, not in your ears. So if you want this one, it's available. Just email us and we'll be happy to connect with you on that. And the email is connectingwithman@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, I'll still be available on the Facebook for a few more minutes after this lovely talk. Thank you all for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Blessings to all of you. Thank you all for joining and to this tutorial, this talk, tutorial, training experience together, wherever you are. And there are a couple of minutes here now, so 2 more minutes if you want to ask me anything or say something. I am here. I am for you. Comment on something. The subject is I can talk to you about hours, about more connection between genes, genetics, DNA, and sound. We can spend whole days together talk about it. So I'll be doing more sharing of this information. But I hope that what I gave you today was good and satisfactory. Thank you, Jean-Michel. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you all for joining today. So I will normally I have on every Friday a free talk on Facebook. Everybody is welcome to join. You just have to be part of the group. And if you need anything, just get in touch with us after the talk. On our website www.connectingwithman.com, on Facebook Connecting with Man. Yes, the email, yeah, I can type it for you if you want, is connecting with Man, so like my name, @gmail.com. Thank you all. And I do this for the people. We have more than 60 free tutorials online now. And if you like the work and you want to support us, we take donations on PayPal too. So everything is welcome. And I'll continue doing this work for the people. And hopefully more and more people will start understanding that this is the era of sound, the era of raising our vibration, and the era of becoming new empowered beings to hold ourselves and others across this awakening moment, across this difficulty, and understanding that nothing can defeat us when we connect with our deep self. Nothing can defeat us, even nasty injections from outside or what won't do anything to us. I send you lots of love and blessings. Thank you all for joining. I will see you again soon. Thank you.